Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, there, one of the things that I always look for as the spring starts is the change in the environment around me. And I've told you about seeing some of the new arrivals for spring. And one of the things that I've noticed is each year the ospreys start coming back earlier and earlier. And each day I go out running, I say, is this going to be the day that the ospreys return? Well, about 4 or 5 days ago, I was running down in the place that I go every day, and I'm looking for woodchucks, and I'm looking for deer and all the different things. And it honestly makes my run a lot more enjoyable if I can sort of share my time out there with the other animals around me. Well, I was looking up in this area. I've noticed that these birds will return to the very same place they were a year ago, just like fish. It's so similar when I tell you if there's a certain structure in the water, the fish will return there all the time. You can always find them until that structure changes. Well, it's the same thing with these nests. These ospreys, they migrate a tremendous distance in the winter to get away from this area because they live on fish. And if there aren't any fish available, they can't peck down through the ice like we do with a auger or something. They can't do that, so they go south. They return to the very same tree, the very same nest, after going hundreds and hundreds, maybe 1,000 miles. Fascinates me. Well, I was looking at this nest down there where I run. Every year, this osprey's in, well, a couple of them are in there, because that's where they have their young. And I looked at a tree next to it, and I saw this big bird sitting up there in the tree. It looked really big, and I'm thinking, okay, something has come there. Is that an eagle or is it an osprey? And I couldn't get close enough to really tell without changing my whole run. So I kept thinking about it going back. The ospreys haven't come back yet. The eagles will stay here. They're different. They will stay through the winter, but the ospreys leave. And I get back to my car and I'm thinking, I got to go back. I got to drive back to that road and see if that bird's still in the tree. So I drive back and I'm looking, and sure enough, there it is sitting up there. And I could see this black bird, but I knew it had a white head. Well, I drove around the back of it, and there was its belly, which was white. And it was an osprey. It seemed cold. It seemed disoriented. It probably wasn't if it returned that whole distance. But maybe it was trying to get its feel of being back here in the frigid north. I don't know. But 2 days later, I'm off on my run again, and I'm coming back, and the bird isn't in the tree. And I look up, and there it is on one of the poles, standing at the top, viewing the area on guard. Well, what was it on guard for? And I looked in the nest, and there was another white head peeking out. So the two had mated, or maybe they stay mated for life. I'm not sure. But they were both back, and they were both back to their home that they left last fall. Now, is it the same two birds, or is it their kids that have returned? I don't know how long ospreys live. These are all things that I guess I got to learn as we go along. My point is, it's a sign of spring. And it used to be, my sister and dad used to keep track of the ospreys that would come around one of the places out by the Messina intake. There was a pole or tree there, and they'd always return. They had their nest there. And my sister had it calculated that it was sometime in the first week of May. And now we were at the end of March where this bird had come back. Are things changing that rapidly? So my point is going out and trout fishing, being able to fish the open water is a part of my ritual, a part of the new season. But seeing the ospreys, and by the way, I saw 4 woodchucks that day. They've come out of the ground, and they're back as part of my environment and part of our spring. And it's one of those signs of spring that means so much to me. And now I can sit here and talk to you with a smile on my face, knowing that my whole fishing season is ahead of me. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.